So today we're going to learn calculus, and we're going to do second derivative. So the question says find d square y over dx square. So it's basically the second derivative, or y double prime. It could be also like this, right? Y double prime. So I'm looking at this, and we don't have a y, so we don't have to differentiate explicitly. Like remember, like whenever there's a y, you could differentiate implicitly, but we only have x, so this is going to be really simple. So let's take the first derivative of this one, so dy dx. So this is, if you take the derivative of this is the power rule, right? So it's 7 times the power, which is 21, right? X, and then it's whatever the power is, you subtract 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So it's 21x squared. Same here. So negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. And then 2 minus 1 is just 1. So it's just negative 10x. And then the derivative of just an x is always just 1. Plus 1. So this is our first derivative. They say they want to take the second derivative, so let's take the second. So it's d square y over dx squared. So we got to take the derivative of this again. So 21 times 2 is 42 x, and then 2 minus 1 is 1, so you could just leave it as 42x. And then negative, it's okay, so negative 10 times 1, because there's an invisible 1, right? So it's negative 10. And then x, 1 minus 0, which is 0, so anything to the 0 power is just 1, so you're just left with negative 10. And then the power of a constant is just 0, so this is your second derivative. For this one, first I will FOIL to make it more simple. So if we FOIL this, like that times that times that, you get 35 x fifth to the fifth plus 5 x cubed minus 21 x cubed minus 3x. Okay, so first I gotta take the first derivative, so dy dx. So 35 times 5 is 175 x, and then 5 minus 1 is 4, so that's how you get a fourth power, plus 5 times 3 is 15, and then 3 minus 1 is 2, so that's how you get a second power. And then negative 21 times 3 is negative 63 x. 3 minus 1 is 2, so that's how you get a second power. And then negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. And then x to the 0, because there's an invisible 1. 1 minus 1 is 0, so anything to the 0 power is just 1. So this is our first derivative, so we got to take the second. So the second is d square y over dx squared. So 175 times 4 is 700. And then 4 minus 1 is 3, so you get it cubed. Plus 15 times 2 is 30. X, 2 minus 1 is 1, so it's just x. Minus 63 times 2 is 126. X, 2 minus 1 is 1, so it's just x. And then the derivative of constant is just 0. And if you were to clean it up, you would get d squared y dx squared equals 700 x cubed, and then 30x minus 120x is minus 96x. That's your final answer. So these weren't too hard because we didn't have a y, so we didn't have to differentiate implicitly.